We lost a great one yesterday. What do I have to say about it? I'll try not to get too redundant, because I'm sure by now everything's been said and done. It can range from, holy crap, a comedic genius is gone, to famous people, celebrities that have personally known him or have met him, or when they were on their way to getting to the top, recalled their stories with him, which is fine and good. Sorry, acne here. Just ignore it. I'm gonna hide it. It's that, you know. Anyways, yeah, Robin Williams. He was part of my childhood. I am a 90s kid, so I grew up with Aladdin. Aladdin's a great Disney movie. I actually wound up rewatching it last night. And I remember it's the final scene with the genie when he's finally free and he hugs Aladdin. And that picture's been making the rounds around social media lately. And it's really eerie just watching that. And after that, my friend and I watched, I was with an online friend, we found, sorry for that noise, we found his comedy special on HBO, which was, oh god, what was it? It had, like, ironically, it's kind of scary how the title of that show connects with how he decided to off himself, or rather, how, you get what I mean. Hold on. Sorry about that. I should have done that. So, the name of the comedy special was Weapons of Self-Destruction, and throughout it, it's kind of insane how well he transitions from to making fun of one topic to another topic, and how it all intertwines. And it's like, wait, he basically, it's good comedy, is when you're discussing one thing, you make a joke about it, and then somehow you transition into a completely different topic. It's pretty insane how well he did that. And it's really weird. Weapons of self-destruction. He even, in that show, he talked about his alcoholism, his cocaine addiction, and briefly touched upon depression. And there have been studies, and actually, if you just, a lot of the great comedians, and especially even today, like Louis C.K., Robin Williams, a lot of them go through some sort of mental illness or some sort of addiction. And comedy is their way of coping with that problem. Heck, it's how I cope with my depression. Yeah, there, I said it. I am depressed. Well, not, I was diagnosed with depression almost a year ago. Actually, a year ago this month. And it was very hard to come out to just actually bring forth a professional and tell people that I care about, hey, this has been going on for a while. I've been usually keeping it at bay. It got to the point where I was contemplating suicide last year. And eventually I did have to be put on medication. And just seeing someone who greatly influenced, like, me to go into, like, a creative field. One of the many, yeah. And see that it could happen to anyone. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It really could happen to anyone. There is no one is no one is immune to mental illness. I mean, yes, people will have their downs and their ups and their strange moments, but I feel like eventually people crack, people have their limits. We are not indestructible, we are not invincible. At the end of the day, even if you have fame and fortune, and even if you have, like, people who will laugh with you, and you make those people laugh, you're really, at the end of the day, you're still human. I think this says a lot about, I'm glad there's this great outpouring of support everywhere. It's kind of insane how, I'm looking up, this morning I woke up, I went on my Instagram, and one of my Boston friends took some pictures. Right now in Boston, there's some people, or have, writing out his monologue from Good Will Hunting, which was shot in Boston. I actually watched that movie the last full semester I studied in Boston. And after that, it was off to LA, and it was freaky, really scary. Like, I watched that months before I went to do my actual final college semester out west. And Matt Damon's character goes out west to Stanford. It's really scary how that can happen. I'm sorry. And actually, Robin Williams was born in the same hometown, Chicago. We're both Chicagoans. So it's really even scarier, creepier, very, that he's just been a part of my life, even if I wasn't aware of it or not. And it was scary the other day. I was thinking, what happened to Robin Williams? He hasn't done anything lately of importance, because, okay, not of importance, but he hasn't done anything that I was aware of lately. And this happens, boy, it was hard to grasp. At first, every time when, like, some celebrity that I care about dies, I think it's a prank. I think, because people always make, especially on Twitter, people make pranks that, like, I remember a few years ago they said Bill Cosby died. He didn't. It was a hoax. I'm like, maybe this is just another hoax. But no, it wasn't. It was for real. And it's quite terrifying with the way he went off. I mean, I can't really say too much. I don't want to drag this out much longer. But just know that we all miss you already. And we wish you were back here. I wish I had the opportunity to meet you. I wish I think anyone would want to have that wish of meeting with you. Maybe some other day in another time period. I'm trying to be deep here. I'm sorry. And he was right. I mean, it's true what they say. Laughter is the best medicine. It's how I've dealt with my depression. I've dealt with a lot of things with it. Laughter helps in every way, shape, or form for the most part. And I can only hope. It's kind of scary. He's probably there with Philip Seymour Hoffman right now. That was another unexpected death. You don't know. People think, I really can't stand it. If people are going to do this, I'm just going to say this right now. I hate it when people are like, oh, what do you mean he was depressed? What do you mean they had a drug problem? They had all this money, and they had all these things. They had everything, and they just have to, why do they have to do that selfish act? But really, it's a lot more complicated. It can happen no one's immune to it. No one's immune. It can happen to a rich person, a poor person. It can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter. Depression does not discriminate. Yeah, that sounds super cheesy, but it's true. It does not. Mental illness does not discriminate at all. And Same thing with addiction. It'll happen to anyone. And if you have a family history of it, then you have a high chance of it happening to you. And it's astounding how taboo it still is, despite the fact we've had many people, whether you knew them or you didn't know them personally, where they suffered from mental illness, and they usually don't talk about it because it's like, oh, mental illness, that means you're gonna be in a crazy asylum. You know, all the stigma that surrounds it, and even more so in our society. And I know in my culture, they think when you're like, oh, I have mental illness, oh, it's because you don't have Jesus in your life. It's like they just lost faith. But really, it's more complicated than that, because, yeah, I don't want to get into that whole religion argument, but it's a lot more complicated than, but you had money, but you had this, you had that. Doesn't matter what you have, you're not immune to it. And this further proves that we've lost a great one. Even if the person seems like they're smiling all the time, you never really know what's going inside. And I'm sorry for looking away from the camera. I received constructive criticism the other day of how I should look more directly into the camera. Hi. I'm sorry. I'll try my best. Thank you, person who commented on my Holes video, for that constructive criticism. Yeah. Here. I'm looking directly at the camera. I'm very shy. Even though I don't mind being recorded. I'm not that kind of person, but I can still get my days. But I will follow up with it in the next video. But yeah. Those are my thoughts. He played an important process in my childhood. Pretty much influential. I think he influenced, even if you're not going in the creative field, everyone's seen his movies, I hope. Well, at least Aladdin and Happy Feet. I was watching the teaser to Happy Feet last night, where he sings My Way. It's hilarious. You just never know, guys. And rest in peace, Robin Williams. We will miss you greatly. Like, I have no idea. It's insane.